he expressed delight that 2 out of the 6 areas of concern raised by.
Okay. So welcome to Managing Your Time for Productivity. I'm so excited, I'm able to do this particular webinar because I think it's so needed now that, a lot of people are either working from home or working remotely, or, the work is not as structured as before. So it's a good time to take a look at your productivity. Are you doing it right? What could you correct? And that's what the webinar today is truly all about. I'm so grateful to have you all on the call, and for you to be on the call, that means you really want to make a change with your time management and your productivity. Again, welcome, and we'll take introductions as we move on. So let me just quickly introduce our organization, Right Track Consulting. We were founded in 2009, and our portfolios range from small businesses to working with multinational public sector entities and NGOs. Our services include consultancy, training, certification, exam prep in several areas. Some of them we do in person, classroom, or online. We also carry out things like software application implementation. We look at organizations' processes, and we also make sure we help improve that for them, and so on. So our promise today is that you will take away an understanding of what time management is and why you must manage your time, for personal effectiveness. I will also share tools for time management. I'll share simple strategies you can live with today, right from this session, and you start implementing it to see a change. And then I'll share some of our offers for today, take your questions, and so on. Okay. So we'll take our introductions. I think we could use the chat. Let me type into the chat in case you're new on Zoom, so that you can introduce yourself, share your name and location. Why are you interested in time management? We'll love to hear, back from the audience. Share with us your name, your location, why you are interested in, ensuring that you're managing your time well. We'll love that feedback, because it would help us, do better when we're doing this another time. Hi, Damilola, you're welcome. Yaniyu, you're welcome. Wow, all the way from Jigawa State. Welcome. Thank God for the internet. So we are all now one global or one, unit, one village together. Damilola, Lagos, beautiful. And I'm in Abuja. So you can see the power of the internet helping all of us. Okay, so who else is on the call? I hope you can hear me. Blossom Irebu, welcome. Ifaka, please do introduce yourself. Ogun State. Wow, I thought you were in Lagos. That's interesting. Welcome. Okay. 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 Blossom, you're welcome. Okay. Blossom is here with me in Abuja. Blossom, welcome. Glad you're here, that you made it. Okay, so yes. So tell us about your interest in time management in another 1 minute, so that we learn, why you're here. who goes first? Okay, Damilola says, I want to learn how to manage my time, especially since we're beautiful, because, you know, especially if you're a parent too, the distractions are many. Okay. 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 Okay, Ganiyu says, I want to manage my time to be more productive. Awesome, you're in the right place. Dossum says, I'm interested in time management because working from home and with little ones all around you, I can feel you, can be very challenging. You find out at the end of the day, you've been, you know, able to do just a small fraction of what I feel you. You know, I totally understand. Ifaka says, I want to coordinate time based on my different activities, school, your research work, your office, personal, business, beautiful. You're in the right place. Marian, introduce yourself in the chat. We just finished introductions and we are asking about your interest in time management. Please feel free to type in the comments. Okay. Okay, Marian says she wants to ensure all the goals she set are met. You know, so we are moving in, you know, into the meaty part of today's session because I know we are all in the right place. I'm excited for the changes we are all going to make, you know, and all of that at the end of this webinar. So a bit of introduction. I won't take all of this, you know, because that will be eating into the time. My name is Ojuga Jonwa. I'm co-founder at Right Track Consulting, and I have over 19 years of management experience, management consulting, training, you know, and so on. I've written some books, you know, and I actively work in the area of project management. I'm a visiting faculty at Enterprise Development Center, the Pan-African University in Lagos, Nigeria. If you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, I think it's a good idea to take a screenshot and connect with me at the end of today's webinar. So I've worked in the project management and IT industry for a span of 19 years across different sectors, banking, pension administration with Pencom, the financial sector, event management sector, and educational services. Most of these projects I work with are funded by the federal government of Nigeria. That means they are more of public sector projects, and some of my projects cut across ethnic, cultural, and religious backgrounds. So I could be here and I'm working with someone, a team in India, a team in South Africa, you know, and so on. So in this session, I'm throwing more light on how do you even juggle all of these balls, you know, and manage your time well. And actually, once you set your mind to it, you can do it. So you will take home a good understanding of next steps to do more with the limited time we have. I know we all have 24 hours, you know, and some people pray for longer days so they can achieve what they can achieve. But today we'll take a look at what can we even do, you know, to achieve some of what we set out to. Of course, you may not get everything 100%, but at least to make good progress is what we are looking forward to. So a bit of housekeeping, do turn off notifications on your phone, the television, get a journal and be ready to have a valuable conversation. So let's take this quick poll again before I finally dive into the material. What are your biggest challenges with managing your time, be it at home or work? Is it that the work is too much, or the environment doesn't help you to do as much as you wish to, and so on? And then the second question will be, do you have a routine for how you work? So please do share. If you want to turn on your microphone, I think you can feel free to do that. We'll do that in 3 minutes. We're really conscious of our time today. So 3 minutes, let's see what you would share with us. What are your biggest challenges with managing your time, be it at home or at work? So who goes first? Okay, who wants to go first, or you want to type? Yes, please feel free. You can raise a hand, so that I'll notice that.
I should type.
Okay, Marian, you can start since you've raised your hand.
I thought someone was going to talk first.
Okay.
Yeah, should I, and then I can come back on.
Okay, so the person, I don't know who it is. Please do raise a hand so that I can see you.
No?
Is the person typing? Okay, you can just go ahead.
Okay, so in terms of the biggest challenge for me, what I find is that I tend to maybe lose focus sometimes. I have a number of 101 things that I want to do. And so I've actually kind of put them down somehow. And maybe I have things that are work related, business related, or personal things. So, you might just end up having different books and different calendars and different slots for each of the different things. And so I find it quite challenging and trying to remember, okay, what was it I was to do here? And yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
That's really an interesting one. It's not that you're not planning, it's just that they are in disparate places, So I think you're looking at unifying your work, making sure it's in one place, or keeping it visual, and all of that. I think that's what you're looking at. And we will try to, address that as we move forward. Any other takers, any other person want to contribute? Okay, someone has typed something. Let me try to read that out. Front, the office front, other people. Okay, your challenges. Someone says other people. I'm not so clear on that, if I can. Stanley, you're welcome. Okay, go ahead. I want it to be participatory. Please go ahead if I can.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, what I meant is, for instance, I work in the public sector.
Okay.
And you normally have superiors, and probably you're working in a project, and being a junior officer, you can actually control your superior. And sometimes they are meeting and you've already scheduled that, okay, we are meeting, this is the time we are going to meet. Then before you know, they keep on postponing. Meanwhile, you have your other task or assignment waiting. So sometimes it can be really difficult working in teams when you have to do time for your own personal activity. Then from the home front, well, I'm single, so I don't really have much problem because I'm able to manage my time properly.
Okay.
Then to do my routine work from home, it's excellent for me. No disturbance. I don't really go on social media often. I have a time.
Wow.
I do that. I have a time for that. So then, if I have to have a meeting, I make sure I am free.
Okay.
So you don't just come in and bug into my time. I try as much as possible. Like when you send this, I just looked at my time because I'm doing research right now. I said, okay, I should be able to spare this time and also make a meal along the line. So it's my break time.
Okay,
to
that's
this
awesome use of your break time as well. Okay, so that's really good.
You.
Thank you. So who else? I think we'll go ahead now. Okay, so as a simple image there says you can't recycle wasted time. So that means, I remember during this pandemic, you know, even for children, some children thought, oh, it's holiday, you know, and the holiday has moved on to 4 months, you know, heading to the 5th month. So all that time, if you were not doing anything, you know, do you think you'll ever be able to get back April, May, June, July, you know, and a bit of August? It's lost, you know. So that means time is in fact, is a resource that, yes, it's as if it's always there, but you must make sure that you're not wasting it, you know. Just like you don't want to waste money, you also don't want to waste time. Now, does this look familiar? Scattered work decks, missed deadlines, you know, everything is late. You almost missed it by 5 minutes, or you missed it by 5 minutes. You know, that means there is something wrong structurally, and you must find a way, you know, to get your groove back with managing your time. So again, inability to concentrate because there are so many things going on, you know, missing files, you missed the appointment you set up with someone, a messy desk, missing schedules, you know, that means there is something wrong. So some ways we may be wasting time today doing other people's work. You know, sometimes just face your own work, especially if you're working in, you know, you're working as an employee in a business. Then again, watching TV. Nobody would accomplish any goal, you know, sitting down. These days, there are so many options. There's Netflix, Iroko TV, if you're in Nigeria. The list is, in fact, young people, I'm like, oh my God, how would they ever read their books too? Because there are too many entertainment things out there. You know, and some people in developed countries that truly accomplish things. In fact, some tell me that they sell their TVs. You know, they sell the TV so that they don't even go to put it on. And now that's a drastic one. You know, you don't really want to go that far. But of course, everything has to have a balance. Then hanging out with negative people, sometimes their attitude can, you know, be contagious. Procrastinating, you know, instead of acting now, you shift it forward. You keep shifting it forward, you know, and so on. Indecision, not really being sure, should I go this way or should I go that way, you know, and so on. And then years keep rolling by. You know, like I said, lost time, you can't recycle it. Waiting for something to happen, you know, you keep waiting. The time keeps ticking. Go out and make it happen. Attending unnecessary meetings. You know, sometimes some of the meetings we have, especially in Nigeria, they are so long, they are so unfocused sometimes, you know, so sometimes decline meetings if you have the power to. Then reading email all day round, you know, like every minute on minute or every hour on hour. Now, I used to be a victim of that because, you know, I need to check my mail because I have clients always communicating and all of that. But I noticed if I can, you know, batch it, when do I go? I could go at 8 a.m., I could go at 3 p.m., I could go at 9 p.m., you know, and that way it's reduced. And, you know, the distraction of mails that I don't really need to see that are not urgent doesn't happen, and I free up my day. answering the phone. In Nigeria, we have this as a culture too. Once your phone rings or there is a notification, you just pick it, you know, and maybe you were in the middle of something. Now someone says to get in the zone of you concentrating, it takes a while. And if every moment you're puncturing that zone of concentration, that means you keep, you know, trying to concentrate all day long, you know, and it doesn't really work well. Like I said again, email ping pong, you know, going back and forth, you send the mail, the person reply, you send again. Go and just carry their phone number, talk to them and close out on whatever it is. Turn off notifications. I also used to be a victim of that. With all these smartphones we now have, you know, so many apps, you know, each one notifying you of what this person has done or, you know, what is going on. Sometimes you need to delete some of those apps. Yes, go extreme, delete them. You could even use them only on your desktop, you know, so that the notifications and all of that doesn't happen on the go. You go when you have time. I think I've seen some more people coming. Oh, Onome, you're welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Not looking at your to-do list. Now, it's not that you didn't write them down. You did write them down. You did use the apps, but you don't even look at the list. It won't also work, you know, that way, because it's good that, oh, you planned, and then as each day comes, you're looking at the tasks at hand. That helps you stay focused on what you plan to do for that singular time. Solving the same problems over and over again. Business owners do this a lot. So what you can do is make sure you document your solutions, you know, so that you have them down the road. Have templates for what you do. Create your, you know, like we would say in management, standard operating procedures. It's just like someone working in a McDonald's or a Mr. Biggs, you know, and they are the chef. How would they make the meal? You know, what steps should they take to do a particular activity? So in your business, if you notice, we're always doing this particular thing. You know, we're always doing this particular thing. Try to template it, try to create procedures for it, you know, so that even if you hand off that work to someone, you can rest easy, you know, knowing that the person will follow the method. You know, follow the method and create the particular results you want them to create, and so on. So what do productive, successful people do to protect their time? Now, protecting your time doesn't mean, you know, you never have interruptions and all of that, but then it's reduced because you've set boundaries around your time. So one of them is don't get into scrolling aimlessly on social media. In fact, most people say in your waking moments, don't even grab your phone to check who messaged you on Telegram or WhatsApp. It will push you into a circle, you know, of checking every other thing. You know, so do the first things first, you know, like this book, Eat the Frog or something like that, where you need to do the hardest tasks first before, you know, doing the other things. Not that checking it is wrong, but it shouldn't just be the first thing. As you roll out of bed, you're rolling into social media. Before you know it, an hour may have gone, you know, and so on. And then don't go through your day without a plan. Really important, you know, if you didn't take anything away from the webinar, please do not go through your day going forward without a plan. I'm not saying you're planning every minute and hour, no, but at least have your highlights, have your focus, you know, and then don't do emotionally draining activities. Don't worry about things you can't control. Then put yourself as priority. You know, because sometimes, like in your waking moments, people want to, you know, make what you're doing the priority and all of that. Blossom says, can we get the recording? Please stay through the training. I hope the recording records. It will be put up on YouTube. So managing your time. what's time management? You know, we've gone on and on, you know, with identifying what successful people do with their time, what could waste your time, and so on. Time management is when you arrange, organize, schedule, and budget your time for the purpose of generating more effective work and productivity. So that means you're being intentional, you know, with your time. So why time management? It helps to overcome stress and procrastination. You know, sometimes when things are floating in your head, you become stressed. But then if they are well planned out and you know, okay, when the time comes for this, I will do it, the stress levels reduce, you know, and it helps you to be better organized, help you to be in total control of the situation, and then helps you balance your work and personal priorities. So for your job, it would help you prioritize effectively, especially like if, like I said, if you're a junior person, you have managers you report to, you know, you may have to make room for their own priorities since you're working there, you know, and so on. And this would help you meet deadlines, targets, you know, goals, so that you're not like a fire on the mountain kind of person all the time, because that's quite stressful. You know, you could do a bits of your work here and there so that by the time a deadline is looming, you know, you're almost all ready. Then it would help you to free up your workspace of clutter and then create a happier work environment. For your organization, it helps with improved productivity. So there is more good use of time by, you know, personnel or the employees, better performance, you know, you're delivering on time to customers. So you're meeting up with your targets, increased profitability, you're using your resources really well, improved planning and control. Then, like we said earlier, reduction of stress. Even when crises happen, you can, you know, reduce their incidence by better planning. Challenges of time management, procrastination. You know, so one of the things I will do as a takeaway from the webinar is to tell you to list, when we are done, list all the tasks you're currently procrastinating on your journal or on your notes on your phone, you know, and all of that. And what do? List all of them, number one to who knows the how long that list could be, you know, and then start removing 2 of them daily. And, you know, removing 2 of them is that you start actioning on 2, you know, at each point in time. And before you know it, you would have eaten into that list of procrastinated activities. Then again, paralyzing perfectionism. Sometimes, you know, in striving to be excellent, we also strive to be so perfect. Everything must be really perfect before you move. Now, I want you to know that perfectionism is unattainable and it can be frustrating. You know, sometimes some photographers even say, you know, if you're all dressed up, you went to a studio, sometimes the pictures don't even turn out so well than the ones that were taken naturally, you know, even when you didn't know they were taking you, you know, the thing now looks really, really good. So perfectionism is unattainable, and I said it's frustrating as well. So just get up and start moving. Setting incorrect objectives, you know, making your goals so, you know, how will I say it, is not really defined. And in management, we also have what we call the SMART method, where your goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. You know, because if you don't put time to what you're saying you want to achieve, you find out that you will keep procrastinating on it. And these are some of the challenges of time management. Then a bit of tools for you to use for time management. You know, a simple tool is a planner. I did not put on my video. I think I will. Let me show you my planner. Planners are simple. You know, yeah, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Thank you, Maria. I totally forgot that particular one. So let me turn on my video. So that is me. This is a journal, simple journal. But then what does it do for you? It helps you to plan. In fact, I'm a journal lady, if you ask me. I always have journals surrounding me, because journals help me to stay focused. Yes, I may have them on an app, what I want to do and all of that, but because this is physical and I just reach out to it, I'm able to every day take a look at, okay, what did I plan for Friday? What did I plan for 3 p.m. on Friday, and so on. And especially if someone wants to have a meeting with me, I also check my journal to see, okay, what times am I free in a certain week, in a certain month, and so on. So if you don't use journals, I encourage you, please do use journals, write it down. Someone says whatever you write down is better than your memory, because you may just forget. Then another tool is telephone. Instead of driving down halfway across town, 2 hours journey, lift your phone and call. And of course, in today's world, you could even use Zoom like we are using to have your meetings without maybe flying to Lagos or to London and so on. Then again, Google Calendar. Google has so many tools, and a beautiful one that I use almost every single day is the Google Calendar. It comes if you have a Gmail account. And what does it do for you? Like the month of August, you could have all your major meetings, scheduled, even your life events. You could schedule them. And what it does is it sends you a notification when that time is there, so that you're reminded and you go ahead and do what you had planned to do. And good old alarms. I'm an alarm person. In fact, if I'm extending on time, my alarms beat, and they warn me that I've expanded on the time I wanted to use for a particular activity. Really important. Then there are other apps. I think you could take a snapshot of this and research some of them. There is Todoist, there is Wunderlist, there is TickTick, and there are Pomodoro apps. Now, these apps would help you do what you would have done again on your journal, because if you're like me, you may not be with the journal, you may be with the phone. So you want the information to still get to you somehow, and so on. Then the Pomodoro apps are so beautiful. In fact, the one I use, has white sound, or is it white noise? So it tries to mimic, like if you walk better when you're hearing the sound of rain, it could send you the sound of rain and time you. So it works in batches of 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. 25 minutes, you take a 5, or however you set it to work. Because sometimes, again, really busy people may sit in one place and it's 6 hours. That is unhealthy. So it tries to tell you, okay, take a walk, take a longer break, as you go through your day. So these apps and tools, paper with pen, your phone, the calendar, the alarms, they really would help to keep you in that zone of productivity. We'll take questions. Please note that if you have any question, we'll have moments where we'll take questions in between. We're, more than 60% through our material. I have a quote by Jeff Bezos, Amazon CEO or founder. His quote on time management says, if you give yourself 30 days to clean your home, it will take 30 days. But if you give yourself 3 hours, it will take 3 hours. What just would have happened? The same applies to your goals, ambitions, your potential. So how do you achieve more in a shorter span of time? You create a new life by creating more urgency. So you create a new life by creating more urgency, demand more, from yourself. And you'll be so surprised, that you'll be able to achieve so much more. Like right now, we are in the 8th month of 2020, and when I begin to think that in 2 weeks' time, we are in the Ember month, I'm like, oh my goodness, this year really ran fast. I think with the pandemic and all of that, you know, the time kept ticking away. So we need to retrace our steps, regain all of that lost time. Celia, you're welcome. We're glad to have you in here.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let's head into the time management strategies. And we said these are practical tips that you can start using from today. You know, really important. The first is to protect your time. You know, just like you protect anything important to you, like we said earlier, once you lose time, you can't recycle the time. So you need to start protecting your time. Imagine meeting Dangote and, you know, you're telling him, let's pop into Mr. Fred's office. Mr. Fred could be a mutual friend of you and Dangote. Do you think Dangote, maybe he saw you on a flight to Abuja, you know, do you think he would just hop into the car and start heading there? In fact, Dangote may have had his time scheduled out for the next 3 years, if you ask me. You know, it's that serious. So if you really get clear on what's the best use of your time, it's so much easier to say no to things that don't matter, you know, both professionally and personally and professionally. Advantages of you protecting your time. People that protect their time, you know, they have sharper clarity, there is high level of focus, and there is real execution. Real execution. If you spread yourself too thin, you know, you would not have clarity into what really, really matters, you know, and you may not be really focused, and your execution could just be mundane, you know. So protecting your time would help you achieve so much more. Again, I'm not saying after the webinar you start saying no to everything. No, there are smarter ways to say no. So 2 strategies for protecting your time when saying yes is that maybe it's a 30 minutes that you have scheduled with someone. You could negotiate for less, you know, less time being spent. So by the time you're negotiating for less, you may even give them a heads up before the meeting so that the time that will be spent will now be reduced. Then make a challenge of your request. Read the agenda, mention that they can even, you can cover everything in 15 minutes, you know, and so on, so that again, you're getting out some of your time back to do some of those things you may have scheduled out to do. Then stop being a people pleaser. I used to live on this lane. So break the habit of saying yes, you know, to every single thing. Instead, you could just borrow this phrase, and I've started using it really seriously. Let me check my schedule. You'll be so surprised, you know, if you're like me, they would still, you know that, oh, you're interested in, you know, what they are talking about, but you need to do it, you know, at a time where it's convenient. Maybe you have other things even planned out. And if your motivation for saying yes is based on guilt, just say no. It's not healthy to feel guilty for everything that you need to say yes to. And again, go slow. Build a tolerance for saying no to the big things by starting with the small things. So not that, oh, someone goes past your house and says, oh, there's a birthday party, a neighbor down the road, you know, they didn't even invite you, you know, has a birthday party, and you're like, okay, let's go. Try to say no to those kind of little things so that when the big ones come, you can also negotiate your time, you know, with those big ones that you need to also say no to. So simple strategies you could use is still your goal setting. You know, we've heard set goals all the time. Setting goals help you to keep things in mind. That's the main thing. And then your goals must be specific and concrete. Never define vague goals. You know, your goals can be short-term, they can be long-term, and like we said, use the SMART way of setting goals. Make them time specific, have deadlines to it, like Jeff Bezos just taught us, you know. Put time limits on things, demand more from your time. and you'll be surprised what you will achieve. Then scheduling. So this process, you look at the time available to you and plan, okay, how do I use it? You have a 40-hour work week. How do I use the 40 hours and still have time, that I can, really use for other things, my personal life, my family, my religious activities, and so on. So by scheduling properly, you understand what you can realistically achieve with your time. So like Marian says, she says, oh, I have so much work to do that I'm like, it's as if I don't have enough time, to do it, or, it's all over the place. So try to do what is realistic. Try to stay within time boundaries. You could even if you work for yourself, you could say, I would do 8 to 10 hours every day, and the rest I reserve for other activities, so that way you're not burnt out. Now, burnout is a real thing. So plan to make the best use of the time available. Then leave enough time for things you must absolutely do. Then preserve contingency time to handle the interruptions, the unexpected, and so on, because that would help you to serve as a buffer. So when you're planning, you're not planning out every single hour. You're allowing some little room, for contingencies. Then minimize stress by overcommitting yourself, and then overcommitting to others as well. Then this beautiful strategy, in fact, I learned this from one of my business coaches. I also have a business coach, online, and she says it's called the 10-30-60 strategy. So what does this strategy mean? It means you tax planning, planning your tax and breaking it down into 10-minute activities. What can I do in 10 minutes in a day? 30-minute activities, 60-minute activities. You can save this on your journal or even on the notes on your phone so that it's easily accessible. Now, when there is a change to your schedule, which may come because, in the real world, even though you may plan, some things may just come up. Someone may cancel an appointment, or maybe you're waiting in a queue at a bank, or you went to the dentist. You can pick up a 10-minute tax, a 30-minute tax, so that in between all of that, or you're caught up in hold up. If you live like in Lagos where there is perpetual hold up, you can use that time to do a bit of your tax, and so on. So 10, 30, 60-minute strategy, really important, simple way to start doing more, with the time you have at hand, during your day. I think you can note that down as well. Take a snapshot, take a screenshot if you're listening in from your system. Then the next is your cognitive tax. Things that would need you to think, use your mind, maybe read, calculate, problem solve. Most people do some of these tasks early. So there are people that do it, they are early birds, they work very well, early in the morning between 8 and 12. Some people do better, this cognitive task at night, when everywhere is now calm, then they're in their zone of genius. They can do so much more, so find out whether you're a night person or a morning person, so that those demanding tasks, you schedule them to where it fits, so that you're not giving your worst, to your day. Then next are your planners, like we've said, useful to plan your week, your day, your month, even your quarter, you can plan in advance. Always keep in mind that you should jot important meetings, deadlines, milestones in your planner. Whenever you commit any due dates or social events, also enter them into your planner. Now, this could be your physical planner, like I showed you, or your Google Calendar, or the tools, some of those tools I mentioned, Wonderlist, Todoist, and so on. So next, as we wrap up, is how would you prioritize your tasks? How will I know which task to do when, and so on. So these following questions need to be considered to determine which task is of priority. Because if you make everything priority, that's where you enter the stress zone. You become burnt out. So ask yourself these questions. What am I doing that doesn't really need to be done? Maybe by you. You could even delegate this task. So if it must not be on your table, find, someone to help you do it, or a tool to help you do it. Then what am I doing that could be done by someone else? So these are questions you need to ask. What am I doing that could be done more efficiently? Sometimes business owners, we think, oh, we must do everything. And you may not have the skill sets for every single thing. So what could you do and give someone else that they could do better? So these are ways of prioritizing your tasks. Then what are the costs versus the benefits of doing this activity? Then how well does the activity even fit into your overall goals? So these are like simple steps. You can screenshot this as well, to help you with prioritizing your tasks. So that is it with our webinar, for today. But before we share our offer, at the end of this training, please feel free. It's a good time to ask questions, comments, feel free to ask them. You could type them as well. I think I have someone new that I did not greet. Fumi Atayero, you're welcome. Thanks for joining in. I hope she could hear me. Okay, so it's question time. Please feel free to ask questions. Question time from what we shared or your comments, just feel free to share something. We'll do that in a few minutes. We'll soon be wrapping up.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
I have to type it.
Sorry?
Wait, how do I raise my hand?
Okay, please do go ahead, Celia.
Okay. When you are planning, you have various activities. You have the family activity, you have the business, your personal business activity, then
Yes.
you have your work in case you are juggling those three.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Do you have one planner for everything like that? How do you manage it? And especially, time, maybe I need to call on this person, I need to check, I need to go to the market for the food. You're juggling a lot of things.
Yeah.
So how do you draw out that plan? Do you put them like in a table? I don't know. There's too much to do.
Okay, thank you so much. Ifaka, you can also drop your question. Let me treat Celia's question. So for me, what I do is to have one planner per time. Maybe like the month of August, I have one planner for it. So inside my planners are usually lined, so inside my planners, I start off with the activities for work, and then the personal activities. So I try to list them in one place. And like I also said, I set up alarms. I'm not sure you were there when we talked about using alarms on our phones, as ways to remind ourselves, so that way, in fact, as you've set out the activities on the journal, the very important ones, you set your alarms maybe 30 minutes before that time, 1 hour before that time, so that in that way you're also reminded, and as much as you can, you'll be better positioned to achieve, what you've set out to do. I hope that helps to answer you.
That's good.
Okay. Ifaka, please do go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for an insightful lecture.
Okay.
My question is, I just had an incident recently. I'm actually running a program with Babcock doing my PhD, and I needed to submit some certain documents to my supervisor.
Okay.
And getting back home, I put on my system, it's not working. I had an option, I had another system, it wasn't working. And I had to go run to the computer village to get a system. But I got home, And the fan was not working, there was a problem, I had to take it back. Now, that's an emergency. I didn't see that coming. I knew I scheduled time. I'm looking at the time I'm going to see my supervisor. And in such situation, I don't know what you can give. So I don't have a tablet, I have a phone, but I don't like working on phone, doing typing and research. It's not very convenient. So in such a case, because I know like in the country where we are, there are a lot of emergency. How do you, for those times, because you can't recycle those times that I've lost. So at the end of the day, you have to stress yourself, so to say, and to also meet up that time, sleepless nights at the end of the day. So what do we do in such cases?
Okay, well, in such cases where something threw you off balance, I would always tell you to communicate to the parties involved, you know, the people that you were supposed to work with and so on, and keep them in the know. Even share with them as you're making progress on finding a solution to that particular problem. So it boils down to communication. And then if you can, you know, if it's a system problem, make sure that some of what you do, you back it up to the cloud. Okay, like all these tools, let me type some of them. Of course, we would know the Google Drive, we know the Dropbox, you know, and I think there is one, is there one box or something like that? You know, and so on. So try to, very important tasks that you're collaborating with others to do, make sure it's also in the cloud as a plan B. In case my system stops functioning or something, we can still reach out to somewhere, you know, to get it down, you know, in there. Okay, so I hope that answered that. Okay.
Yes, please, thanks.
Okay. Mariam says, yeah, risk management element, yes, and communication, because it's out of your control, you know, and so on. Any other question before we make a big review? Question. 1 more minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Adjugo, you said something about if you're a nocturnal individual, that's it.
Yes.
Maybe night is the best time. For me, night is the best time that I love to work. But I found out that because of you know, during the day you are so tired and everything. So at night, even if you try as much as possible to maybe wake up in the night, you find out that throughout that day, you might just be practically sleepy. Your brain is not connecting with anything you are doing. So how do you, I don't know how we can be able to manage these issues.
Of course, if you work at night, if night time is your best time, please don't do night like, you know, TDB, you're doing it on a roll. Like for a whole week, you're not sleep. No, it doesn't work that way. Again, it's a health, it will even impact on your health, because at night, really, your body system, you know, starts repairing itself and you're recovering from the day's stress. So if you need to do it here and there. Not that you're doing it every single night. It doesn't work that way. In fact, you may even doze off at that important meeting you need to go for, you know, and so on. So please, work-life balance, strike a balance. So not every single night, you know, and so on. I hope that helped.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So quickly, I'll just announce our upcoming program. This is a course that would really help you to have strategies that would help you grow your business. So it's going to be an online course. That means you can take the course on your system, on your phone, on your tablet, wherever you are. So you take control of your time with the strategies. We'll share more in-depth strategies, you know, and in your business, you will earn more in less time. So I'm going to share quickly what the contents are. First of all, the objective is designed to help you and your teams kick out procrastination and then 10x your productivity so that you can get more done and earn more income in less time. You know, sometimes we pack a lot of activities into our day, but then some of them are busy work. So you need to, You know, inside this course, we're training off busy work and focusing on the main things you need to do. So who is this designed for? Anyone that is sick and tired of staying stuck and not making progress. Business owners, managers, you know, and so on. So a bit of the outline, we'll talk about time audits. We'll look at creating your routines, having a morning and an evening routine to prevent burnout, because I see a lot of people get burnt out and, you know, they stop for a long time. Now, success is what you're doing day in and day out. So you don't want the burnout syndrome to keep, you know, stopping you from reaching your goals. And then again, we'll look at the 3 P's of time management: prioritizing, planning, and producing. We'll go in depth, you know, into all of these particular areas. Then we'll look at different time management apps for you and your team. We'll walk through these apps and how you could use them. Then practical strategies you can use to get more done in the shortest amount of time. So that means we'll start looking into your processes. How can you make your processes better? You know, we'll help you map out your processes. We'll help you talk about how you can create your SOPs, you know, so that you and your team are doing way much better. How do you delegate? In fact, some people are afraid of delegating because they're like, the work doesn't get done in the right way. Now there's a right way to delegate, you know, and get the work done in the way it should be. Then we'll look at automating. What tools could you use to automate your work? You know, so that these tools are doing more than, you know, sometimes we carry a lot of human resources as business owners, you know, and you don't really need them. It may just be tools that you would actually need that would help you achieve so much more. And then we'll talk about outsourcing. What can you outsource, you know, to people that is their meat and potato? That's what they do. You know, that's all they do. They do it in an expert fashion, you know, and all of that. So we'll talk about all of those details in the time management course that is upcoming. And a bonus will be how you would optimize your work environment using the 5S strategy, so that you're reducing your cost and your waste in your business processes. Now, this is valued at 100,000 Naira. The course duration is for 3 days, but the course fee is not up to that. The course fee is 20,000 for early birds from now till September 14th. And then from September 15th to 25th, you know, the cost comes up to 25,000 Naira. Now, this could just be the cost of fueling your generator for a week. But then if you take up this course, it would actually help you, you know, rejig how you work and improve your productivity. So I offer today the time management strategies to grow your business. You can take a screenshot of this, you know, to pre-order the course till September 14th. And we said September 28th is up, you know, and you're able to take it along with your team members, you know, and so on. So thank you so much for participating today. Please, if you still do have any other questions, feel free to email us at info@righttrackconsult.com.ng, or, you know, leave a WhatsApp message and someone will be there to attend to you. So if in the event of no more questions, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for sticking, you know, through the presentation to the end. I truly do appreciate. So is there any questions, feedbacks? Feel free to drop them. Question, feedback as we wrap up. Thank you, Marian. Thank you, thank you. When will we have another Blossom? When will we have another webinar? Soon. Thank you so much for being here. If I can thank you, I appreciate. You're welcome, Blossom. Okay, so for other webinars, you could drop on a WhatsApp. Let me drop the WhatsApp number. You could drop a message to say, oh, I would love to learn about this area, and we'll take a look at creating that particular webinar. Thank you. WhatsApp, I've dropped the WhatsApp number. Okay, thank you so much. I'm supposed to get a feedback link. Just give me a moment. Okay, sorry, let me drop that number. Oh, I see someone coming in when we've wrapped up. Oh dear. I think he will get the replay. Okay, so thank you, Damilola. Please do leave us a feedback on this link. It's really going to be appreciated. I'm typing that in just a moment before we wrap up. Gambo, thank you for coming in, although you came in a little bit late. We are about wrapping up. I think I would share the replay, if the Zoom tool would, create that replay for us. Okay, so that's the feedback link. Please would welcome your feedback, so that my organization will know this actually held, and know how we can improve it. So I've dropped that link for everyone in the meeting. Gambo, thank you for coming in, although you came in quite late. So we'll share, if you can drop a feedback, we'll share the link on YouTube, with you once that is ready. So thank you, and do have a lovely weekend, you all.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.